Question 11 says, here are some fractions. One of these fractions is not equivalent to 3/4. So if we cancel each of them down, that's in the 3 times table. That cancels down to 3/4. 6 and 8 are both in the 2 times table. So that will cancel to 3/4. 18 and 24 is in the 6 times table. That cancels down to 3/4. This one here, both are in the 2 times table. That will cancel down to 5/8. And the last one, both in the 5 times table, cancel to 3/4. So the one that we're looking for is 10/16. The second question is an adding fractions question. So the first thing we need to do, we need to get our common denominator. Now the lowest common denominator these will both go into is 12. So I'm going to write that down below them. Now the first fraction, what do I times 12 by to make 12? I just times it by 1. So that stays the same as it is. This one, what do I times 6 by to make 12? I have to times that by 2. So I times the numerator by 2 as well. 2 times 5 is going to be 10. So then I'm going to add them together. 1/12 plus 10/12, and I get my final answer of 11/12. Now, question 12, it says Tom used his lorry to deliver bricks. And we've got a graph here. For each delivery, there is a fixed charge plus a charge for the distance. How much is the fixed charge? Well, if he goes 0 miles, he has to pay this charge here. And this charge here is £10. So our fixed charge is £10. Now, part B of the question says Tom makes 2 deliveries of bricks. The distance of one delivery is 20 miles more than the distance of the other delivery. Work out the difference between the 2 delivery costs. So what we need to do is go to the graph, and I'm going to pick 2 points which are on the line, which are a distance of 20 miles apart. So that looks a good point to pick there, and that is exactly 20 miles apart. So this distance here is 20 miles. What's the difference in the cost? We have to go up that distance there on the graph. Now that's going up from 40 to 70, so the difference in that cost is £30. So the answer to part B is £30. Question 13 says Amzol, Ryan and Kim each played a game. Amzol's score was 4 times Ryan's score. So what I'm going to do to start, I'm going to write these 3 letters down. A for Amzol, R for Ryan, K for Kim. So we're going to relate it to Ryan's score. So I'm going to say that his ratio is going to be X. Now Amzol's score was 4 times Ryan's. So if Ryan was X, Amzol is going to be 4X. Kim's score was half of Amzol's. Well, if Amzol was 4X, Kim is going to be 2X. And then it said, finally, write down the ratio of Amzol's score to Ryan's score to Kim's. If we take all the X's out, this is going to be 4 to 1 to 2. So our answer down the bottom, 4 to 1 to 2. Now question 14 asks us to show the diagram that ABCD is a kite. Now they've already showed us that the lines BA and AD are the same length as each other. So I'm just going to outline the kite shape with my highlighter here at the moment. Now if this is a kite, these 2 sides will be the same, but we would expect this angle here and this angle here to be the same size as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to work out the angles that we know. So the first one I'm going to start off with working, I'm going to work out this angle here. So if we name that angle would be angle BCD equals, now it's vertically opposite to 50, so it's going to be 50 degrees, and then in brackets I'm going to explain how I got that. So I'm going to say that it's a vertically opposite angle. The next one I'm going to get, so I'm going to mark that on the diagram, that's 50 degrees. I'm going to get angle ADC, so this one in the corner here. Angle ADC equals. Now if you notice here, it's on a straight line with 75, so that plus that adds to be 180. So that angle is going to be 105 degrees. And the reason for that is angles on a straight line. So that is 105 degrees. Now I need to find this final angle. So in this green shape that I've got, it's a quadrilateral. These angles have to add up to 360 degrees. So if I add what I've got already, 100 plus 50 is 150, plus 105, so that's going to be 255. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 360, take away 255, because that's going to give me the size of this angle at B that I want to get here. So if I do this takeaway, I get 5 there, I get 0, I get 1, and we've proved that that angle is 105 degrees. So I'm going to say how I got it. Angle A, B, C equals 105 degrees. And the reason for this is angles in quadrilateral add to 360. So to prove that this is a kite, we've shown that these two angles are the same. So if you think of this, if we drew a line down the middle there, we would have perpendicular bisectors when we draw the diagonals for this. So we've got our kite. Now question 15, Shahid is going to use these instructions to make a fizzy drink. Mix 5 parts of orange with 2 parts of lemonade. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to write orange to lemonade. We've got 5 parts of orange to 2 parts of lemonade. Now, Shahid has got 300 millilitres of his orange, but he's only got 200 millilitres of lemonade. Now, what I'm going to look at here, we're going to try and find out what his limiting factor is. If I divide 300 by 5, I'll see that I've had to times 5 by 60 to get that, but I have to times 2 by 100 to get 200. So our limiting factor is to multiply the ratios by 60. So I can have 300 millilitres of orange, that's okay, but I can only have 2 times our limiting factor was 60. 2 times 60 worth of lemonade. So that's going to be 120 millilitres of lemonade. So our total drink is going to be 300 plus 120. That's going to be 420 millilitres. Now the final part says Shahid has 300 millilitres of orange, but he only has 160 millilitres of lemonade. Does this affect the amount of fizzy drink he can make? Well, it doesn't at all, does it? Because we can only use 120 millilitres of that 160. So what we would write is this will have no effect as we can still only use 120. 120 millilitres of lemonade with 300 millilitres of orange. Now in question 16, it says here are 2 rectangles. Jim says the rectangles are similar because 8 plus 4 makes 12 and 6 plus 4 makes 10. Well, Jim's got it completely wrong. What you have got to find is what the scale factor is. Now, what do we times 8 by to make 12? Well, we times that by a scale factor of 1.5. Now, what do we times 6 by to make 10? Well, we would times it by 10 over 6, and if we cancel that down, that comes to 5 over 3, which is 1 2/3, not the same as 1 1/2. So he's got it wrong because he should have been not adding a constant, he should have been looking to see if the sides had the same scale factors. So I'm going to put they are not similar as the ratio between corresponding sides are not the same. Now, question 17 is asking us to fill in this diagram. So if we start, there's 80 people in total. 48 of these people are women. So I'm going to put 48 in there. So if 48 are women, the number that are men must be 32. So we've done that first bit there. And it says 61 of the 80 people like coffee. 8 of the men do not like coffee. So 8 of the men going along this branch here do not like coffee. That's going to be an 8 in there. So that one and that one must add up to 32. So that one must be 24. Now it says, so we've done our 8 bit, we can do the 61. 61 of the 80 like coffee. So we need to do, to fill in this one, we need to do 61 take away 24. So we're going to get 37. So we've got 37 in there. So then 37 plus this makes 48. So this one down here must be 11. Now part B of the question says, one of the people who like coffee is chosen at random. Find the probability that this person is a woman. So the people that like coffee is the 37 here and the 24 there. So that was 61 from the question. So we want 61 as the bottom of our fraction. Now, what's the probability that this person is a woman? These are the women who like coffee and the men were 24. So it's going to be 37 over 61 coming from that one there.